Boy, we about to fill they motherfucking head up with this ghetto joke. Time to break these hoes. My nigga Bun B, Pimp C, I'm in UK. With Master T.
Y'all know what time it is, baby. It's Coffee and Blunts with BG, baby. We live in OAT. We about to break you off something today. Who I be?
Your neighborhood drug dealer, a young nigga that's violent. I really no limit soldier.
We got a full show today, man. We're gonna talk about the cannabis conspiracy. We're gonna break y'all off a lot of information today, man. This gonna be like 30,000 feet over some Cowboy fans' heads. But some of y'all I'm talking to.
I'm from the project where we all think alike, though. The killing ain't nothing but a hobby. Don't make me do a fucking 187 robbery like some brand new dogs. You tied up, you sound like the chicken.
Let's let everybody get in, man. Good morning, good morning. We're on the West Coast. It's Friday, man. I told you it's better to be early than it is to be late, man. Y'all better turn them notifications on, man, and learn. I don't just go live when I say I am. I might be early. What's up, Tina? What's up, Daniel? What's up, Jermaine? We got a full show today, man. Lock them up and light them up, man. We're going to talk about these flip-flop politicians. We're going to talk about what the credibility of Time Magazine has to say about some of the stuff. And I'm going to tell y'all who y'all need to follow and why, especially if you're trying to break them off some, baby, in 2020. We on that Coffee and Blunts this morning, man. It's Friday, man. I know a lot of y'all at the house relaxing, playing with your new gadgets and all your toys. It's time to break you off some, baby. Uh-oh, we got Big Mama Price on the line. Good morning, Miss Price. How you doing? What's up, Kyle? Y'all know what it is, baby. We fully live, man. It's Friday, you know what I'm saying? We going into 2020. And we're going to talk about some explosive stuff today, man. Some of this, like I said, going to be above some Cowboy fans' heads. And that's fine. I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to the ones who know what I'm talking about. And I'm talking about to the folks out there in them states that it ain't legal yet, that just hard-headed. Big Gang, what's up, baby? Just a quick plug, man. Quick plug. You know, I got my ebook coming around on January 31st, being published on Amazon Kindle. Look for it. You can go pre-order it now. It's called Bulletproof. It's centered around veteran suicide. I hope y'all calling y'all veterans this holiday season.
Call on the cavalry reinforcements and your local PD. They getting somewhere if they see me. My nigga, that's how these G's.
Y'all know I got my trees with me, man. I don't go nowhere without the trees, baby. It's Coffee and Blunts, right? It'd be a crime if I didn't, right? And we in Washington State where it's legal at, baby. So if you just tuning in for the first time and you don't know what's going on with the fuckery, stick around. Let a few more people get up in here, man. One share lets me know you care, especially if you're trying to get down with this weed game, man. We're going to 2020. We talking about getting some money, man. All this fuckery ain't for nothing, man. But y'all listening to that track I got going right now. Y'all know Pimp C was a big influence on me. I talk about him in chapter 6 of my book. So, you know, I got my playlist going on YouTube today that normally I have when I'm writing. So I'm up in my garage today. I want to welcome everybody to the show. And like I said, it's always better to be early than it is to be on time. Like I tell my kids, it's always better to be 15 minutes early than it is to be on time. Because if you're on time, guess what? You late. But we got a full show today. I know if y'all seen the commercial that I had going on earlier this morning, we're talking about the cannabis conspiracy. So let me just share a little backstory with y'all on how I came to that, right? So, you know, first of all, average Cowboy fans want to fight about average shit. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Smart Cowboy fans want to talk about smart shit. So if you here and you a smart Cowboy fan and you joining me today, I appreciate that. Because we talking about shit smart Cowboy fans talking about. Smart Cowboy fans, I've been hanging around in this group for 4 years that I've met that have took me along this journey. So now it's my turn to give back and try to awaken some of y'all to let you know about some of these opportunities out here, because you want to know why. The same very politicians that write these laws that told you it wasn't no good. They out there investing in them companies, waiting for it. And we're going to talk about why you should and what some opportunities are out there, especially for some veterans. But so I signed up for a lot of email stuff, right? You know, you get these emails about, you know, before I get on, let me get some more shout outs. You know, I'm sorry. What's up, Justice? I see you chiming in. Carla, what's going on? Big Game James is on there. Ronnie Torres, what up? Campos, my brother from another mother down there, baby. I see you, Miss Price. Love you too, Mama Price. Jesse, David, Juan, Mata, always showing love. Bert, yeah. You know what I'm saying? If y'all, Rodney Gay, long time. Joe Tarantino, all the way over there in Italy. We stay live over in International, baby. I appreciate you always clocking in. If that guy in Italy can always figure out how I'm going live and be on within the first 5 minutes, man. I don't know what some of y'all Cowboy fans in this group is doing. Shout out Joe Tarantino, baby. Please appreciate all the love. But we got some shout outs in there. So I'll go back. You know, I sign up for a lot of, you know, email newsletters and things like that. You know, you get the email spam and all of that. So I try to stay away from the fuckery. I try to stay away from stuff that, you know, that there's really a bunch of distractions and noise. And I try to pay attention to things that I think are important, like the cannabis industry. So, you know, I signed up, you know, I follow on Patreon. A lot of you guys that are Patreon supporters here to support OAT, we appreciate that. But I also support other patrons out there too as well, or other creators. And I follow other creators out there that are on Patreon too as well that are in the cannabis industry, because much like what we're doing with the Dallas Cowboy culture here, you know, they're doing with the cannabis culture over there too, and it's helping us be able to tangle the two. So, you know, I get these emails all the time, and, you know, it's always the spam stuff, and very little of it do I ever pay attention to. But this one had a link to a video, and it's called The Cannabis Conspiracy. And I said, oh, let me see what this is about, right? Like you sitting in line at, you know, at your local supermarket, you know what I mean? You get to go check out, see the National Enquirer, you know what I mean? You see the titles and all that, right? So I say, clickbait, got me, right? So let me go see what this is about. And lo and behold, I mean, it's a very credible source of information. And it covers everything from lock them up to light them up, how politicians were against weed and all, the cannabis and all of that stuff, and now how they're turning around and backdoor investing in front of our eyes that you guys aren't paying attention about. You know, how the rich and connected are continuing to profit off the lion's share of these opportunities because of the information that they have. And so hence I always talk about us building a Cowboy fan base centric networking here. There's a big reason about that. It's not just so we can say we know one another. A lot of us have a lot of resources that help out in what it is that we're doing here. So, you know, I'm going to tell you who you need to follow with Tiki Tiari, if I'm saying his name right. So a lot of these are going to be some names that you don't know about. Like I said, 30,000 feet for some Cowboy fans. And others that chime in that, you know, I'm not here to talk about. I leave it up to Big Game James, West Coast, all them guys that talk X's and O's and all that strategy about the game and all of that. I leave that to them, and I try to pay attention to other stuff, how I can be a role player to help, you know, what those guys are doing, and see how collectively we can all move this together. But let's just start it off. I'll go back to let's go back to Time Magazine. I referenced this on one of my last shows, and I do that because it's a credible publication. It's Time Magazine. I brought it in the line. How funny and ironic, right? At the grocery store one day, I pay attention to stuff. I seen that. So Time Magazine, it's pretty credible. It's not National Enquirer, right? And it talks about this was bought, I think, in October of last year. So it says why pot is a civil rights issue. And when you go back to lock them up and light them up, not only are we getting ready to see a wave of investments and all of that stuff that take place for those that are involved in the information that are out there and can, you know, put themselves in position, you know what I mean? Like these fishing poles I got right here, you know what I mean? I got those there because I want to throw those out because I'm going to catch some of y'all Cowboy fans eventually with some of this. So you might be in between that 30,000 and that 1,000 like I'm talking about, but I'm trying to get you down there. So go on and come on up. But it talks about Reaganomics. And the reason why I wanted to point this out is because during the Reaganomics era and the crack epidemic era, which I talk about in my ebook, it talks about, and it focuses predominantly on the crack epidemic area, but it doesn't talk about in full detail about the folks that, you know, got caught in that crossfire in terms of how they got locked up or whatever the case may be, right? But then you go back to weed. Now we get ready to legalize weed probably in the next 24 months throughout this country, right? I mean, we only got so many already legal. It's only a matter of time before the rest of them. They're just trying to figure out how to get their hands in the cookie jar, just like during the Reaganomics, okay? So this is per quote, this is per, you know, per Time Magazine. It says, when the war on drugs gained steam under the Reagan administration, however, the prison population gained a decidedly dark hue. So, you know, I'm not here to talk numbers about prisons and all of that stuff, but everybody knows that, you know, the prison industrial complex, how that all played out for those of y'all that pay attention to that. It was a big time profit. But don't you find it ironic that you got politicians that are already in play? One named Boehner. Sure, a lot, that's probably most familiar. Everybody knows who John Boehner is, right? So to bring up a point, you know what I mean? There's a lot of folks out there that want to take advantage of this opportunity, and I talk a lot about this in my ebook. So going back to the Reaganomics era, now you got all these men that have been locked up, or women have been locked up behind these crimes. You know what I mean? What's going to happen after? And so, you know, that's a whole nother side of the story we're not here to cover today. But that's something to make you think about. How could politicians be so far against something and then now turn around right in front of us and then put money involved in companies that lock these very same people up and profit off of that? I want y'all to pay attention to that. And so it was actually an interview with Tiki Tiari, right, about the cannabis industry. And it was done by, let me go back to my notes, Judge Pirro, P-I-R-R-O. And it was her investigation, right? She brought on Tiki Tiari, and they talked about these types of things. And, you know, some of the numbers are just staggering, y'all. It is staggering on this type of industry. So why am I bringing this up? Because everybody talks about cowboy stuff, right? Like I said, I'm going to bring you that stuff that's outside of that. So I'm talking only to a few select few. Some of the Cowboy fans at the time, then you see I got my #1 fan. I know Miss Price is on the Dallas Cowboys #1 fan. I got my #1 fan with me right there. I got my fishing poles out there trying to catch somebody today. This industry is getting ready to make a lot of folks, and these numbers are staggering. Rich and connected, claim the lion's share. If you're a veteran, if you want to get into farming, I know there's a lot of people in Texas right now where it's not legal for medicinal or for recreation. But if you take a look at the farming industry, you know, there's a lot of farmers out there in Texas, right? I know I grew up in Texas. If you really want to think about getting into this industry, whether you agree with it or not, but you're in the farming industry, you need to start paying attention to those types of stocks, types of tools, types of pesticides and things that they need to grow this type of stuff. If you're involved in that type of industry, that's the type of stuff you need to be paying attention to. So, you know, farming is going to be big because once they legalize this and everybody can grow in every state, there's going to be a landmine rush. You know, everybody's going to be trying to be doing this. There's people right now currently trying to do this. So let's go back to that. Let's get some other shots out. Anybody else chimed in? I know I'm on my long stroke this morning, man. Good morning. We on that coffee and blunts with BG this morning, baby. Got Nina. Hey, good morning, Nina. Penny Brown's on there. Lisa Morton from the East Coast. Marcus, what's up, man? I see y'all. Reason why I got to look away is I got a limited setup here, so bear with me. Like I said, I got my trees with me, you know, got my Cowboys, got my fishing poles, got my #1 fan. We good to go. So follow us wherever we might be in the neighborhood near you next. But going back to this email and going back to these top 3 things, why you need to blow, why you need to follow Tiki Tiari, right? So just Google the guy. I mean, he's all over YouTube. He's all over Google. It's not somebody I'm making up. If you want to pay attention to that type of stuff and figure out what's going on with that, get chimed in with that. Don't just rely on me. Do your own due diligence like I'm doing, and do it on the industry too as well. Where else we at? The flip-flop politicians. So that kind of ties right into that. So going back to John Boehner, it's kind of ironic how, you know, once politicians get out of office and then all of a sudden the very things they say don't do or all that type of stuff, right? But I ain't no hypocrite. I'm just here pointing out the facts. It's not something I'm just making up. I mean, you guys know I like to keep notes. I like to write. I like to write what I know about, not what I think I know about. But y'all follow with me, man. Who else is chiming in this morning? David LaFuente, what up, man? Texas made boys, that's what's up. Sean Tipton, good morning, man. Nathan James, High Tire, what's up, baby? Bonnie's on there. What's up? I see you. So, you know, that's pretty much, you know what I mean, the areas that I wanted to cover about and how this ties into, you know, a lot of people don't want to hear this because they're in a lot of states right now. So I want to give you a clue. Some of y'all states out there ain't legal yet. You got bills that just got passed in 2018 that's already made CBD. And that's different than THC. See, I'm up here talking about all this greenery and trees and weed, right? The real market is where CBD is at. And that's legal in all 50 states right now. Do your research. Do your research, Cowboy fans. That's an even bigger market than the flower market and all that type of stuff. But once this is going to be like this once in a lifetime opportunity. You know what I mean? And I'll give a quick book reference, right, as we get into this, right? How many of you ever seen this book by Napoleon Hill? You read books. I got a library. I got a book club coming out. I got an email list already growing. I'm going to put that link in here as soon as we get done with that. But Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Man, I've had this book probably since the early 2000s. Probably read it 15, 20 times. But think about it. Grow. Think and grow rich, right? If you are paying attention to this type of stuff, you need to put your goals down in writing. And that's the difference between a dream and a goal. Put it down in writing, okay? Do your due diligence. Deal with whatever you got to deal with in the process of it. But you know what I'm saying? At the same time, share the journey so maybe you can enlighten somebody else along the way. Because I'll tell you folks out there in those states that where it's not legal yet, and I know some folks that I'm talking to like, why is he talking about me? It's cool where we're at. And I get it. But I know a lot of people in a lot of different states that don't agree with it, one, personally. And then I know a lot of people out there that just don't know. So we're trying to give you that information here. And that's what makes OAT different than your typical Cowboys group. You know what I mean? You don't see this type of stuff going on. We got real creators in here. We got people that are connected on and off the grid. They met each other in real life. It's what we built over this last 4 years, built by fans for fans. And what we're trying to do is make sure that we can share that information, because just like the rich continue to get, the rich that are connected, they continue to get the lion's share. If we know about that information and we're sharing it here too, guess what? Those that are awake and can hear it, or maybe you bite the hook, you can get in on the action too, baby. Who else is on the line though? But I read that book, man, and this is what got me, man. After my second year out of the Navy selling cable, I made over $100,000 knocking on people's doors, selling cable by applying those things from that book. And those very things I'm applying with y'all now, y'all are watching. So you might think I'm crazy because I left, but you can read about that in my ebook coming out in January about why I did that and why I'm here with you today. So big part of that. Let's see who else is on there. Penny Brown says, I've been in CBD industry. Thank you. Somebody can comment on there. And it's exploding. I can't wait for them to legalize it in Texas, but they need to exonerate anyone who was arrested for weed. And I know that's a great point, Penny. And that's what I'm talking about on the first part of the segment, though. Isn't it ironic? It used to be lock them up, but now it's light them up. Great comment. Thank you for adding the context there. You know what I'm saying? Education is key. You're right, Penny. So, I mean, there's a world of information out there. Some Cowboy fans just, they choose not to, you know, take advantage of it. So, and I know some of this is controversial here to some folks, and I know it's turned some folks off, but I know it's also going to hit the light bulb on some folks. And those are the ones that I'm looking for, because at the end of the day, your family and your friends will be the first ones to tell you that whatever it is that you're trying to do, it ain't going to work. And on that note, let's take a little music break. Let's get some more questions in. We're going to look up that UGK on that highlight, baby. I appreciate y'all joining me this morning. We on that Coffee and Blunts with BG. Christine Lunkins, what's up, girl? I see you out there, potato chip. Big Des Bryant supporter. She's been a long time OAT Patreon, man, over 2+ years, man. Love you, potato chip. Big time Des supporter out there. She in the booth. And she a registered nurse. She out there getting it, girl. Appreciate all the support, man. Hope everybody had a wonderful holiday Christmas. I'll tell you, I'm glad 2019 is damn near over with. I'm ready to shoot 2019 in the head and be gone with it. That's me. But I hope all of y'all had, you know, a great Christmas with your family and friends. Let me tell you something. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Because tomorrow is never promised, y'all. Tomorrow is never promised. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you got to pay attention to some of this information that we talk about on here, man, because some of y'all is going to wake y'all up. And some of y'all going to know some people that are in a place of opportunity. Some of y'all going to have these ideas that maybe you thought, oh, everybody's been telling you, no, that ain't going to work. You know what I mean? Don't listen to the people that's closest to you, man, because your biggest fan is a stranger and your biggest hater is relative. That's 100, man. That's 100%. What's up, Kyle Hollisworth? What up, man? What up, David Rare? What up? Penny Brown? What? Yeah, I see you, Christine. Yeah. So, you know, getting back to the topic, right? We got about 10 more minutes before the show's over with. I appreciate those 10 of y'all that are staying tuned in here with me. But, you know, we were going over the, you know, Coffee and Blunts. You know, what we gonna think? We gonna talk about Cowboy shit? No, we're gonna talk about weed industry. We're gonna talk about my ebook. We're gonna talk about some Cowboys here in a couple of minutes. Y'all got some questions, want to know how I feel about some certain things, I'll tell you, shoot a question up there. We could do that. But this is basically the education portion. You know what I mean? I don't just want y'all to think, you know, your boys up here with the fuckery for no reason, man. There's a purpose behind that. You know what I'm saying? Because When you go to that highlight, man, you gotta have that come to Jesus, baby. You gotta have that come to Jesus, baby. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. And when you do that, man, and you get on your assignment, you just gotta roll with it. But yeah, Tika Terrari, that's his name. Teekatiwari, right? Lock him up and light him up, man. I just find that shit highly ironic. Pun intended on highly. Rich and connected, claim the lion's share. It's because they're always at the root of the information. You see these legislators, they share that information with them people that's up there lobbying with them. You can't hate on the game, man. You got to understand the game in order to win at the game. You can't get mad at the game. You got to get educated on the game, know the rules of the game, and then apply the shit. Grow. Y'all remember, y'all gonna hear it here first. Y'all heard it here first. What's up, James Miles? I see you, baby, out there in Georgia. Traveling Stars of Georgia, I believe that is. Corey Lewis, what up? Come on, you slayer. But yeah, for the veterans, especially if you know some people that's getting ready to get out of their military service or ranks or whatever, y'all, you know, all them people down south in the farming industry, man, the farming industry is not dead, man. Look, I live in Washington State, right? And I believe, if I stand corrected, I believe Washington supplies the most apples in the entire globe. They got apple pastures out here everywhere. But they got a lot of space out here they growing too. I'll tell you that much. So you can take that to the bank on the highlight, baby, because it's just there. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the opportunity, you know what I mean? You know, farming and doing all this other vegetables and all that other industry is great, but when this economy explodes and it booms and you're right there before it can take off, you know what I'm saying? You've done your due diligence. You know what's going on with it. What's up, G Garcia? I see you, man. So going back, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. I hope everybody's having fun, getting ready for the new year. It's Coffee and Blunts. I know it's a Friday. I know everybody's probably, you know, playing with their gadgets, but you know, me and my trees, we roll deep, one deep. And I had to get up this morning. I had to share the good news with y'all, man. I had a shitty Christmas, but it is what it is. I'm going into 2020. Living that hot life, man. One shot, one love, man. I appreciate everybody. Give me a share out there if y'all agree with what's going on, man. Support your boy. I'll put the links up in here for the book and also for the library, for the book club that I'm starting. So I want you to join me, especially if you live in that high life and you like to read, baby. You on Coffee and Blunts. We'll see y'all on the next show.